Hello you absolute lovelies. Let's talk all about Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, the 8th installment in the long 30-year almost running Mission Impossible series. I am a huge fan of this series. I've been watching them since I was like 9 years old. The first one came out when I was 8, and I think I watched it like as soon as it was on home video. My mom is a huge Tom Cruise fan, watched it far too young, but I've been watching this franchise since I could conceive of loving movies. So really excited to dive in with you lovelies. Please hit that subscription bell. If you're new to this page, I cover lots and lots of movies, lots of TV, and tons of comic books. When we get 50K, and I'm at like 47 now, I'm gonna do a 50 comic giveaway. So if you like genre content, you like movies, you like pop culture, please join me on this journey and press subscribe. Also press like in this video for the algorithm, and please leave a comment below. If you've seen Final Reckoning, I'd love to know your thoughts, because there's a bunch of elements to it, spoiler free please, in the comments below, that I was surprised didn't work, and there was a lot that did work, but I'm gonna get into that in a second. So please, spoiler free, leave your comments below. And if you haven't seen it yet, I'd love to know if you are interested in it. It is a franchise that has been running so long, I don't know, like, finger on the pulse how people feel about this franchise. I know my friends and I love it and are excited about it, but I don't know if the general viewer is excited for Mission Impossible 8, so let me know. All right, let's talk about the movie itself. There are two set pieces here that are some of the greatest stunt work I have ever seen. There's also some truly incredible CGI blended into that I couldn't find the lines of. My biggest issue with 7, Dead Reckoning, was it felt like the stunts were so surrounded by special effects that I could tell the stakes were high, but my brain was going, CGI. And it was really hard to feel the pressure and the stakes because there was just enough alien elements that it didn't feel as Tom Cruise stakes. This one is so Tom Cruise, untethered in horrible situations, putting himself truly at peril. Like, the man risks his life and mind for cinema, and I will always credit that. Like, I'm a movie buff. I love the movie theater, and Tom Cruise is the biggest advocate for the theater itself that I can think of. This film is a giant love letter to the movies, and it should be seen at the movies. If you're gonna watch this movie, watch it with a giant crowd. Experience the oohs, ahs, the terror, the pitfalls, the comedy, the zeal from Tom Cruise and the rest of the IMF team, big and loud. Now, those two set pieces I really love, and this is spoiler free. These set pieces are in the trailer, but I love that they're kind of juxtaposing each other. There's one in the second act that's very specific one way, and there's one in the third act that is very specific the other way. I can tell you those things. I won't tell you which one's which in order, but one of them is in the trailers. It's a submarine element, and one of them in the trailers is an airplane element. And it's really cool because the submarine is disorienting and whips you around and immerses you to the point where, like, I went with my buddy Greg and he was getting like a headache. I was getting like tension. We both felt like so claustrophobic and intense, and you get disoriented to the point of like, I don't know how Tom Cruise even acted this, much less how they shot it, and the way they put you in that scenario is astounding. And then juxtaposing that, there's a set piece that is as high in the air as I can fathom, and Tom Cruise is literally throwing himself around a plane in the air, and you feel the insanity of the heights. You feel the pace, the rhythm, all of the things. I don't know how they shot either sequence. I don't know how Tom Cruise does any of this, but I love that you feel one like this and one like this, and I love that the film uses it narratively. Like, both those moments have an emotional payoff as well as being a impossible mission. So this film also does a really good job having the Mission Impossible element actually feel impossible. 8 films in, when you start to the first one, you call it Mission Impossible. It's kind of tricky to keep going and keep feeling like they're impossible. These feel impossible, and I love that 8 films in, the stakes are heightened because of the events of 7. Like, I love, not only do we worry about each member of IMF, every single character might die, and you feel that for real. And I love that the last film set up an actually plausible world-ending element, and this film feels world-ending. A lot of movies have the stakes of like, the world will end. This one does a really good job making you feel those stakes. I think it also does a better job than 7 making you understand AI as, when you distrust reality, you distrust everyone. When you distrust everyone, that friction turns to catastrophe and global trauma. And this film really captures not only the IMF mission, but the world at large. There's a bunch of sequences of a boardroom, and oh my god, the casting. I don't know how much people know about who's in this film, but the boardroom sequence is incredible of who's in that room. These great Dutch angles, this Aaron Sorkin jumpy writing with all these military folk and Madam President and all this stuff. And it feels like a fantastic undercurrent of dystopian movie and what it is, the human condition, and testing that. And I love the way it navigates all of that, juxtaposing Tom Cruise and his team doing their thing. So I love the villain of the entity. I like the villain that was introduced in 7 a bit more in this one because it feeds into the entity better. And I think that the IMF agents, everyone on that team is fantastic. Good God, do I love Ving Rhames in his role, Simon Pegg in his role, Haley Atwell. She is such a force of nature, man. Haley Atwell is so boundlessly charming, so charismatic, so captivating. I want her to be a household name, like, above the title. Like, she deserves that. Simon Pegg, so endearing, so charming, so effortless. It's so funny. Ving Rhames is just heart and soul and exposed nerves of just emotion. And then you've got the very, very scene stealing from the last film and also in this film, Pom Klementif, who doesn't say a lot but has so much aura, so much presence, so much just ability to be. Absolutely love the IMF team established here. Really impressed with all of those dynamics. Really enjoyed the journey. Now, those are the positives. And there are many. I think this is worth seeing in theaters. I think it is worth your money to see in theaters. I do think those two set pieces alone are worth the $12 to $20 that is a movie theater wherever you live. If you have A-list, this is just another little box. You get 4 a week now, so it's absolutely worth that. That said, in the Mission Impossible journey, this isn't in my top half. Mission Impossible 3 is my personal favorite. For me, it goes like, and this is, I know not everyone's order. I get it, but it's mine, because this is how I watch these movies, and I'm my own person. 3, 4, 6, 1, 5, probably 8, and then 7 and 2. So it's nearer the bottom than the top, but it's kind of in the middle as far as tone. Like, these 3 that are lesser in this middle zone are kind of like all that, you know, B+. Whereas I didn't love 2, and that's a little lower. It's fun, but it doesn't feel like a Mission Impossible and doesn't have the same stakes to me. And it's cool set pieces, but I don't love 2. And for me, 7 was mustache twirly. I didn't love the entity. I didn't love, you know, some of the jump cuts. I didn't love some of the decisions made. I didn't love how exposition heavy it was. And the reason this one's on the lower side of the overall, but still higher than most movies, I gave this 4 stars. 4 stars for an action thriller is very high. This will likely end up in my top 25 of 2025 list, but when other films like Mission Impossible 3 are 4.5 stars, when you've got movies that are this high a bar, there was a lot of heavy-handed exposition, and there is a lot of problems in the first act. Whether it's dialogue, whether it's not trusting the audience, whether it's exposition feeling super heavy, whether it's flashing back so much that it feels like a clips thing, it summarizes 7 films a lot. It brings you back a lot, sometimes to its detriment. And I also think that there are moments that don't believe the audience. They're making you like, hey, this is an emotion we want you to feel. Hey, this is over here. So the first act drops this below the halfway point of the 8-film trilogy. The first act is hard. Once it gets going, it has some of the best set pieces of the whole shebang. But averaging out, it lands at like a 4 out of 5 star, maybe even 3.5 star, not in theaters. I think in theaters it goes up to a 4 star. I think if I watch this at home, probably be 3.5. Still a fantastic time, but it does struggle in the first act to go, okay, there's a lot to catch you up on. Okay, here's a bunch of clips. Okay, this is the 8th film. Okay, this is the legacy. Okay, here's some exposition. And some of it's unnecessary, a decent amount. So, I'd say it's well worth seeing. I'd say it's a worthy installment in an incredible franchise, but it wouldn't be in my top of that incredible franchise. So if you like the Mission Impossible movies, I think you should see this one. I think you'll enjoy this one just as I did. If you don't like them, this one will not sell you. If you don't like long, full, robust political thrillers, the first act is going to be a struggle, and then the action is going to be great. If you like political thrillers and espionage and dad movies, the first half will be like half good, half bad, which is what it was for me. And then it really gets going. Only gets better as you go along. So for what it's worth, that was my experience. Hope you enjoy it yourself. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen it or if you'd like to see it, what you thought of these. And I'd also love to know your ranking. What is your ranking of the Mission Impossible films, including or not including this one? If you've only seen the 7, let me know. If you've seen this one, throw it in there. Let me know in the comments below. Please hit that like and please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to be doing a lot of reviews. Final Destination yesterday. Yesterday. Today, Mission Impossible. Today, certain Superman trailer drop. So lots of stuff in this page today and through the week. So please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Go watch a movie. Go support the theater. Go support cinema. Much love.